Hello, once again, you're welcome back to my channel where I tell you what you need to know and what you need to do to be very successful in snail farming business. So on today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about some lies. Will I even say some lies, or some of the things that you are meant to believe that might not actually be truth. Some of the things that we have been told about snail farming that are not actually 100% correct or truth. And this is simply because most of these things are being said by people who are not talking out of experience, or who are not even talking as a practical snail farmers, and they end up passing what I would call half information about snail farming business. But today on this video, I'm actually going to be telling you the truth about it as a practical snail farmer and as someone who have actually handled a lot of farm construction projects for a lot of persons. So I can categorically tell you that at least I have some experience as long as snail farming is concerned. So the first one I'm actually going to be talking about is the issue of low capital startup in snail farming business. Yes, a lot of us have been meant to believe that starting up a snail farming business does not actually require a lot of money to get started. But you know, when we talk about low capital startup in snail farming business, personally, I do say that is actually relative. What do I actually mean by that? What I mean is this. When I say is actually relative, is that when you must have compared it to other probably other farming system that you can start. For instance, when you compare the capital startup of snail farming business to that of fish farming or to that of poultry farming, then you can be able to know that starting a snail farming business will be quite cheaper than when you are actually starting a fish farm business or a poultry farming business. And that is when we can say that the startup capital is low. That is what I mean by not being relative. By the time you compare it with this other type of farming business, you will now find out that this one is low compared to this, and not actually that the startup capital for a snail farming business is very low. Most of you that are watching me who have snail farming business can actually attest to this, whether it's actually or whether it's indeed 100% truth that the startup capital of a snail farming business is very low. Although it also depends on the quantity you are starting with, as well as how big you want to start your farm with. Some time ago, I think that should be about last year, a lady contacted me and was actually asking me if she can be able to start up a snail farming business with 50,000 naira. And the first thing I told her was, what quantity are you looking at starting with? And by the time she told me that she's looking at starting with 150 to 200 points of lay, and I just told her, no, you cannot start up with 50,000 naira. And she said no problem, and she said she will get back to me. Until today, she did not get back to me again. But that is not where I'm going to. Where I'm going to is that most of us have been meant to always believe that it's very low capital intensive. Now, when we want to make a typical analysis, when we want to analyze it, you will find out that, okay, let's take for instance the lady I gave you as an instance now. If she is actually starting, she says she wants to start, okay, let's just say that she wants to start with 150 pieces of points of lay, and she has a capital of 50,000 naira. I can tell you that by the time she must have constructed a pen that will has that 150 pieces, the money that will be left will not be enough to actually buy the 150 points of lay. That is just the simple truth. And that 150 points of lay, each point of lay goes for like 350. Some are even selling 400. So by the time you must have calculated 350 times that 150 pieces she is buying, you will now know how much that is left. And now you will now ask yourself, the money that is left, will you be able to construct the housing system that will actually has that 150 pieces? And remember, if the person is actually now constructing a block pen, you will have to buy cement, you have to buy blocks, you have to pay the mason man, you have to pay for carpenter, you have to also buy woods that you are going to use for the framing, you will buy nets, and probably you might likely plaster the place. Or if you want to minimize costs, if you want to manage your costs, you can leave plastering the place. But by the time you must have put up this money and calculate it, you will find out that It's not small money that you have actually spent just to erase that particular pen that will actually has just 150 point of view. And that is not all. You will know that there is need for you to have a shade, because you are going to be buying zinc, and that one bundle might not be enough. You are going to be buying wood that you will use for the roofing and those stuffs. So you will now understand that indeed it is not 100% truth that startup capital for snail farming business is very, very low. It's not. I can tell you for truth. Anybody that is telling you that is very, very low, I can tell you that that is half information. Probably the person is not a practical snail farmer, or the person is not talking from experience. I can tell you for sure. But that is not being said that you cannot start small. You can also start small and spend little amount of money. It is achievable by those who are actually starting small. Probably you want to start with, let's say, 30 pieces of snail. You want to start with 50 pieces of snail. You will now understand that there is no way you will spend the same amount of money as your capital with someone who is actually starting with 150 or 200 pieces of snail. So I don't want you to misunderstand me. The point I'm trying to drive here is that when we talk about low capital startup in snail farming business, you should understand that it is relative, not really that the capital startup is very low. Because by the time you are starting up 200, 500, the money you are going to spend, that is when you will not believe that those persons that have been telling you that it's very, very low to start up, the capital is very, very low, you will now find out that they are not actually telling you the truth. Where you spend most of the money is even in the construction of the house, the housing system. That's where you spend much of the money. Not really when you are actually buying the breeding stock. It is in the construction of the housing system. That is where you spend almost 50 to 60% of the money. And then the second one I want to talk about is the issue of management. You know, in snail farming business, we have also been told and we have been meant to believe that the management aspect is very, very easy. That is very, very easy to manage, unlike fishery and when you are doing poultry and other ones that you can mention. I will also tell you that it is relative, in the sense that when you are comparing it with, let's say, poultry now, you can say that yes, it is very easy to manage when you compare it to this other one. But in the actual sense of it, it is not easy to manage. If it is very, very easy to manage, a lot of persons will not be having issue in snail farming business. I can tell you that for sure. I have been into snail farming business for more than 3 years. I can tell at least I have some experience that I can tell you truth about. And most of you will even agree with me. Most of you that have tried it and you are finding it difficult will agree with me that it is not really 100% that the management aspect is very easy. It is not easy. I have been consulted for a lot of persons, and these are people that have given up. They started it, and for one reason or the other, they couldn't continue again, and they are giving up. And most time, I will come in, revive the business, encourage them on what to do, tutor them on what to do, and then they will do what they will kick off again. So what am I saying? If it is that easy as people have been meant to believe, or as people have been saying it, my dear, nobody will have any issue in snail farming business. I have visited a farm that lost almost about 1,500 pieces of snails in their greenhouse. I have visited a snail pen that lost almost all the snails in their pen. So it is not easy. Those persons that have been saying it's very easy, you just start like this, my dear, I'm telling you, I'm a practical snail farmer. Most of them are not practicing what they are saying. They are not practical snail farmers. Most of them doesn't have any experience when it comes to snail farming business. They just leverage on what others are saying or what they are reading online, and they come out and tell you, and you will be meant to believe so. So it is not really easy to manage a snail farming business. The cleaning aspect is not really easy. I can tell you, and most of you that have been watching my video, I do tell you that when you mention greenhouse and you mention block, I will tell you that block pen is not for the lazy people. I can tell you for sure. Lazy ones can manage greenhouse. They will be doing trial and error there, trial and error there. But you know, when it comes to intensive system of snail farming, which is the block pen or the trench system, my dear, it is not for lazy people. By the time you must have cleaned 2 to 5 pens, my dear, you will understand what I'm telling you, that is not meant for lazy persons. Your waist, your bones, your hands, everywhere, even your eye will start turning you. So it is not as easy as people paint it to be. when mortality hammer you, you will not understand that it's not as easy as people meant it to be. When your snail starts laying and then incubating it and hatching it become an issue to you, which is the most vital part in snail farming business, then you will also understand that it is not easy managing snail farming business. So whoever that has been telling you that it's very easy, the capital startup is easy, well, the person might be telling you what you want to hear. But I'm here telling you, as someone who have some experience in snail farming business, as someone who is practicalizing it, I can categorically tell you for sure that the capital startup for snail farming business is not that low as people have meant it to be. I can also tell you categorically that the management of snail farming business is not that easy as people also have meant it to be. And this video is not in any way to discourage you from starting your snail farming business with low capital. This is not to discourage you not to start because the management is not easy, no. But this is to make you understand what you are going into as someone who is actually venturing into snail farming business. And this is also to make you understand as someone who is into it, what you are actually going to be encountering, the things you are actually going to be seeing in the business itself once you start as a snail farmer. So I want to hear from you as well. Go to the comment section, tell me if you're already a snail farmer. Tell me if it is easy managing your snail farm business. And then tell me when you started, was the capital you started with as low as people meant it to be? So these are the things I want you to do for me. Just go to the comment section, let me know if you are finding it easy managing your snail farm. And as well, let me know when you started your snail farming business, how much did you spend? Was it as low as people meant it to be? So just let me know in the comment section so that we will share our experience, so that others who actually want to go into it will also learn from you who is already into snail farming business. Thank you once again for watching this video. Remember, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please do me that favor. Click on that subscribe button right away, smash the bell notification icon so that whenever I drop an awesome video, you will always be notified about it. Like this video, share this video so that a lot of person will get to know about it and it will also help them in their snail farming journey. And lastly, if you have not joined our snail farming telegram, please, the link is also in the description of this video. Join so that you will also be sharing more information. You will learn from other practicing snail farmers, and whenever you have an issue, we can actually handle it and help you to get it solved. Thank you once again. See you in my next video, and bye for now. Cheers.